guys, it is March 13th, Wednesday. It's been a few days. I've been working at my other job. But we turned on our app for Spark about 9:30. It shows like it's a high offer time, which is usually mornings. I hardly ever get anything for Spark, but it's showing the bars that it's like, you know, a busy time. But we got one order so far, one offer in an hour and a half. That was for going 24 miles, 2 drop-offs for $20. No. So we rejected that. So we'll see if it comes back with more. If it does it for $1 a mile, I'll do it. But at this point, I got to run into Walmart and get some stuff for me. And hopefully it'll pick up. I thought maybe I need to get closer to Walmart and I'll start getting some orders. And I had to go to the school and pick up some earbuds I left behind yesterday. And that's right down the road from Walmart. And then I got the order as I was going there. And I don't know where I should go to a pickup area in case I get an offer. I know we're not supposed to park there and then go in and shop. But I do it if it's not busy, and I don't think it's busy. It doesn't look like anything's going on. And the thing is that today I have to go do my taxes, which I know we're gonna owe, excuse me. And I'm disgusted to have to go do them. I don't want to go do them. I'm afraid to see what we owe because I never have money to put back for that. So yeah, it's not busy, so I'm parking here. But yeah, it's fun in America these days trying to make a living. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Alright guys, I'm gonna go in and do some shopping and hopefully we'll get an order soon. Alright guys, we got an order for shopping, going 3 miles for $16, so we took it. I just walked out of Walmart. Now I'm going right back in again. So, alright, let's go shop. Okay guys, here we go to Winfield. Number 104 is on the front porch. Okay. Awesome. Oh, I'm not there yet. I keep confirming arrival when I'm not even there yet. Hitting the wrong button.
Starting route.
That wasn't too bad.
Proceed
It had
to the
some
route.
drinks, but
Then turn right
24
onto
pack was
Alberta
the
Street.
heaviest thing. I love it though when I see people that I've worked with for 3 years and they don't speak at all. I didn't speak either, but I don't know. I'm bitter. That's another story one day. The gossip will happen when it's time, because I have to wait. I have to wait on something before I can gossip about that. So, yeah. This is why I do this, because I still substitute teach, but just like twice a day so I don't get real stressed out. And so far, that group of people where I'm switched over to have been a lot friendlier. But I'll tell you the story of why I quit in the one location I spent 3 years in. Still part of the same school system, but something occurred, and I will tell that story eventually.
At the stop sign,
And eventually
turn
we'll
left
get back
onto
to the whole
Municipal
foster care
Drive,
thing here in
then
just a
turn
bit.
right.
Today is really slow, so I don't even know how much I'll be on. And then right in the middle of probably busy time, I'm going to be
onto Alberta Street.
getting my taxes done. So hopefully I'll get a couple more orders in, because this is my first order for the day after being on since like 9:30.
In about 3 miles,
I
turn
got
right
stuck
onto
done.
Ramsey
So,
Road.
it's okay. I had to spend money though. I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. This is just going right up the road. We'll see if we get an order shortly thereafter.
Onto Ramsey Road.
1 mile. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day out here today. trailer parks. It's a different road.
Keep left.
Yet there's no road sign. And I feel like I just missed the turn. No, wait a minute.
Proceed to the route.
Proceed to the route. So I'm not in the right. See, there it did it again.
Proceed to the route.
We'll back it up. So that's where it's at. This is where you can't tell. Like, the road says Melinda. And you think it would be the road, not the gravel part. But apparently it is.
Turn right onto Melinda Lane, then arrive at your destination.
So I believe it's going to be this house
Arrived.
right here. Let's see. It says it's on the porch. That's not it. That's it right there. Okay, we're going to pull in right here. No, actually, we're going to pull out and go over there instead of doing all that. It's not close enough to the stairs for me. Every moment counts. Oh, okay, well they have it. I guess they're gonna get it right there because I'm not opening gates. So we're just gonna drop it off right here. So that one is complete. I didn't go up the ramp to save some time because I'm not fighting with somebody's gate. If they prop it open, I'll try to go up. But it's just a few extra steps that we'll have to do. I don't know. I might lose my tip over it. Oh well. I don't think they tipped anyway. Honestly. I might be wrong. I didn't look. I noticed an order yesterday said, you may get tipped later. And it went about 8 miles, and I had to shop for it. And the man I delivered to was really nice, but I had to get his ID because they got cough syrup. And that always takes a few minutes because you got to type in their name and their date of birth. And then have to sign your phone. And that takes extra time. And I realize, and I've probably said this before, I roll my window so you can hear me, that I need to get one of those with microphones. That some of these people don't realize what we get paid versus how the tips contribute to us making any money. And I realize that they don't understand that. I think I even addressed this on another video, but we'll do it again. My daughter had contacted me back about a week ago. She had a almost a $700 grocery order. And I think something's being fudged because she said she tipped at $28. So I stayed on and rejected offers waiting for hers because I just got done with an order. It didn't take me long and I ended up nabbing it. But it had 2 other orders with it. So I had 3 drop-offs. Her groceries filled up my entire car. The other 2 orders were pretty small. They were all in town, so they weren't that far away. But it only paid 45, maybe 48. I don't remember. Well, 28 of that was her tip. So somewhere along the way, Walmart only paid me $20 for 3 orders, one being over $700, almost $700. And I think that there's like a percentage, unless they do that with the groceries, you actually shop for it. I don't know. I might be wrong. Maybe it just goes by mileage because she only lives like probably 7 miles away from Walmart. I don't know. Maybe that does have something to do with it. But her boys came out and helped me. Grandkids come out and helped me unload it. So that was a huge load that if I'd had to do all that by myself, that would have probably took me 30 minutes to unload it. So the Walmart was only paying $20 and she paid more than half of it. I don't know. That just seems kind of fishy. That order there, Walmart should have at least paid $30, and then I got the tip on top of it. So I was expecting this to be almost $60 and it wasn't. So I don't know. So I don't know if they look at the tip and go, oh, we can lower what we're going to pay. I don't know. It is nice, guys, if you're going to reach out to us when we drop it off, if you tip us in cash. But that also might keep us from, that might make us reject the order because it's not paying enough. And we don't know. If you leave it in the notes, I tip you in cash or something, then we can see that. And then we know, but yeah. It's kind of a 50-50 thing there. Alright guys, moving on to the next one, hopefully soon. Alright, so we got a shopping order that I rejected like 5 times. I think it upped at about $2. I ended up taking it because I thought, well, I need to go towards my house, and this is past it, and I can come back to my house. Some of the stuff I bought is like some chicken salad and stuff that needs to get put in the fridge. So, well, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and I might just sit at the house and wait to see if another order comes. But this is going to Brimstone Road, way down in Robbins, 15-mile trip, I believe. Had to shop for some hard good items and groceries and nothing super heavy, so it didn't take me very long, probably 25 minutes to shop, although I did have a woman go at me. I don't know. I don't think I cut her off, so I don't know. But I didn't have my cart. I'll set my cart sometimes to the side and go down the aisle, so I'm not having to maneuver everywhere if I'm just getting like one item. And if it gets a little heavy with the drinks and stuff, it just saves me a little wear and tear on the hands and arms. So she wasn't happy with me for some reason. I don't care. I don't know what her problem was. I literally went around her and was out of her way, walking. I didn't get in my way with my cart. Blah, blah, blah. Honey, us old people don't care anymore. We've been around the bend, and I can go around again. I mean, it don't bother me. Just have to get your little panties in a wad. I try to get out of the way. I try to be polite, but I also constantly run into people that don't know how to get out of the aisle. They literally take up the entire aisle. They'll have 2 carts and park them right in the aisle where nobody can get through. Or they'll have Granny in the little drivable cart thing, and they'll have a cart, and they'll sit right there and discuss what they're getting because they can't make up their mind. God help me if I become like that. I'm going to have somebody walking around slapping me if I do that. But anyway, I'm going to tell you, a broken leg one time. I think I told that in another video about my injury. And I think I did. I'll have to review my videos and make sure I talked But anyway, I had to ride one of those things to go grocery shopping, and I felt so blessed when I was able to walk again. So if I don't have to ride in something, I'm blessed to be able to walk. We need to think about that, because for 3 months I couldn't walk, and it was miserable. And I've always been an ambulatory person. I don't like that feeling of helplessness. So if you can walk, get your butt up and walk, because if you keep on sitting, you're going to get worse and worse and worse. So your body ain't going to move at all anymore. So, even if you're a little heavy set, or you have a knee injury, I have back problems, I have a knee problem, my knee still has a plate in it, gets arthritis, I still get up and walk, I still get up and move. Don't use that for an excuse to quit. I know there are some people that are truly like they can't, and I get that. But if you are still at all able to do the necessary stuff using your arms and feet and legs, get up and do it. That's my advice for the day. Alright, we'll see you on the trip there. I have to just tell y'all this. Oh my gosh, drivers. Little car pulls out in front of a semi-truck. Going to get over into the second lane, which is I'm in the fast lane. Misses me by this much. Misses me because they decided to pull out in front of a semi, and then they have to get over out of the semi's way. And they're in a little bitty munchkin car. So squish, 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 people. Have some sense. Have some common sense and think about what you're doing before you kill somebody or yourself. Some more advice for the day. Lovely country road. We got to verify this order to, I guess, a code maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't have anything I need their ID for, but about a mile away.
Take a slight left turn.
Road. This red road leads over to the other side of Brimstone, where they do all the riding at Brimstone Recreation.
In 3/4 of a mile, the destination is on your right. Destination is on your right. Arrived.
They have 50 vehicles in the drive, and you gotta walk around everything to drop the groceries. I love it. I love it. Alright guys, drop off complete. Got a $5 tip out of that, so I made that almost $29. Almost $29. I noticed across the street from them somebody has a makeshift tent and he come crawling out from under it. So I don't know, man, that's happening a lot around here. You know, I realize people can come and live off the grid and out in the country and stuff, so it's pretty crazy, but I don't know. I'm trying to decide. Well, I think I'm going to go to the house first and then I'll take an order because I'm going to get this food in, go back into town. That $5 is probably going to get me a Frosty. Probably going to get me a Frosty. But while we're traveling, I'll try to hit on the last time we was gossiping from the last video. We had time because we've got a little ways to go. So we was talking about foster care. This is our cup of gossip for the day. And I had said that I had adopted 4 girls, and then later I had adopted a boy. So long story short with the girls, you know, things were a little difficult. One of the girls was very hard to deal with. She was a first grader, and she would have the awfulest fits, violent fits, and beat up teachers and beat up students and constantly getting suspended from school. So we had a hard time with that, and but the oldest one wanted us to adopt them, and it broke our heart. So we ended up adopting them. Long story short, we had to fight tooth and nail with, I think I hit on that with the meeting in Nashville and all that. So you have to go back and watch that video. And anyway, long story short with them, one by one as they turned 18, the first one left mad at us because she was dating a boy that was so disrespectful to us. He would walk into our house and not knock, and I'd be there. I might be going back and forth to get some clothes on or something, and he'd just be standing in our door. And I mean, it would be in the middle of the day when everybody's at school, and she had started college, so there was days that she wasn't at school, or she might not have even been there, and he just showed up. He would never speak to me. We cooked for him. He came to Thanksgiving dinner, spilled stuff all over the floor, wouldn't clean it up. She had to clean it up for him. It just went on, and we just had a long talk with her, and it just tore her up that we said, you know, either he comes and talks to us and we get this situated, or he's not allowed back in the house. And so we become the bad guys, and she ended up leaving. It took her about a year, but she wouldn't speak to us. She literally spent a year or so leaving her 3 sisters behind, by the way. Wouldn't speak to us, never, I mean, I'm talking, and then one day we came home and she had moved. So that's fine. So she spent about 2 years where we didn't speak to her at all, and then when my mom died, she contacted me, and I'm like, yes, come back, yes, we can talk, yes. You know, nothing's perfect, but we certainly, we believe in forgiveness, or at least I used to. And so she came back for a little bit. She had a baby. She was with somebody, had a baby. And then shortly after the baby was born, there was some conflict because she had reunited with her dad. And her dad basically was poisoning her against us. He was the one that left them. We gave him 2 attempts to even be in their lives, and he still didn't do it. And then when she was pregnant with her baby, we was throwing the baby shower, we invited him and his new wife. And there was issues with drugs at the time that he lost all the kids, him and his other wife. And they had divorced, and she was still a mess, and I guess he had straightened up, I'm assuming, at least according to what she said. And he wouldn't come because it was too awkward. Now, he has not in 10 years seen his 2 youngest children. The other 2 are adults now, and by this time, you know, the oldest one had already been around him, and the second oldest had been in contact with him, and they, you know, got together sometimes and stuff. But his 2 youngest ones, he'd never seen them in 10 years, so we asked him, we offered to him for him to come. He refused. I'm like, wow. I would crawl, like my husband said, we would crawl over rocks and mountains to get to our kids if we were going to get to see them. And we don't have to. We are now, by law, the parents. And so anyway, long story short, it just went on down the road that that relationship ended again. And the second youngest, not the youngest, but the second one up, turned 18 and pulled some stuff at our house that we could not believe. We had left to go, me and my husband left to take me and him vacation, and they were all working like at McDonald's, so they could not go. So the two youngest ones still at the house could not go, obviously, because they were working. They just started the job. It was adulting time, you know. And we got back, and they had a party. They had broken glass all over the place. They had people over that we don't know. And she had a boyfriend at that time that he has been, this boy had been in foster care and adopted by somebody my husband had grew up with. And apparently he had punched this elderly man that was his adopted father out. And there was some other accusations about some, you know, certain types of abuse with a young girl. And so when we found out all this, and plus he was horrible to her. He was not allowed back at her house, but he had broke up with her. They weren't even supposed to be together. And she was sneaking and seeing him. And then while we were gone, he spent the whole week there. The whole week at our house without permission. So needless to say, when we got back, things got bad. She ended up taking off. And then later on, about, let's see, her youngest sister, which none of them had any contact with at all this whole time, suddenly they show up when she turned 18, the day she turned 18, her biological dad and his wife and the sibling I was just talking about, the sister, showed up across the street at our house to get her. They had signed her out of school, discharged her from school, and wanted to take her with them. When she was hiding in the back bedroom, she had some issues, but she knew mostly what was going on, and I think she was confused and whatever. So we gave her the option of what do you want to do. She ended up leaving with them. So long story short, we don't see them no more. We don't have nothing to do with them. They don't have anything to do with us. And that's the beauty, that's the bed of roses of fostering and then adopting. So then our other child, the boy that we adopted, he was 15. He'd been in foster care for years. He had tried to run over his last foster parent with a dirt bike. Okay, so we ended up taking him temporarily. It's called respite care. Respite care is you take a child in until they find a placement for him, or actually he was going to a facility because he was in trouble. So, and they kind of left him there with us. He's only supposed to have been there max 2 weeks. We never heard from the caseworker again. We got a month later, we got a phone call from his attorney ad litem, is what they're called, asking us something. And I said, ma'am, he's not our permanent placement. She said, what do you mean? And I said, he's only here for respite care. He's just been abandoned with us. Nobody has contacted us, let us know anything. This boy needs to be back in school. This is what DCS did to him. Literally left him and abandoned him. And so, long story short, with that one, we ended up adopting him. Because it's like, this kid's just been abandoned. So, she gets on the ball and calls somebody, and we finally get a caseworker and so on and so forth. He was doing pretty good with us. We let him stay, and then, are you going to adopt him? I mean, they push that. It don't matter, especially when it's a teenager that's been in trouble. They will push you to adopt them like crazy. But he was doing really good with us. And my husband and him had seemed to connect. So we decided to do it. That's when the trouble started. Once we adopted him, he got in trouble 6 times for vaping at school. We had to miss work to take him to court. Every time he'd go to court, he'd get a slap on the wrist. Then he started taking off from school and not going to school. So truancy. And it just escalated from there. And then at 17, he decided he was leaving, and he didn't have to do anything that we said. And he sent us text messages and everything, said we don't have to do nothing. And we had long discussions with him about the rules, how I am, how I'm a disciplinarian, how you will, are you sure you want this? Yes, I want to be a Claiborne. Yes. And needless to say, he didn't want to follow any rules, and we didn't have any authority over him. He wanted to be emancipated several times. It's like, dude, you gotta have a job. So with him, he's been back and forth in our lives. He has not lived with us except on and off a couple of times, and he only stayed maybe a day or two. And he's been in trouble with the law, just dumb stuff, and can't keep a job. And the last round, he got a girl pregnant. They've had a baby. He's 19, she's around 19. He might be getting close. I guess he'll be 20 this year, I guess. Can't keep a job, don't have a place to live. None of her family will let him live with them because they witnessed some stuff going on with the baby with him. And then we ended up letting him come and stay with us. They were there about a week when something occurred one morning that I heard it. I saw the redness on the child's hand, 4 months old. The screaming began, and I thought I heard a thump. I cannot swear what happened, but there was a pack and play, and I believe the child got thrown into that. And the screaming, this boy's a happy little boy, and the screaming that took place at that moment, I said, what is going on in there? And Aaliyah came out, or she should have said his name. She came out with the baby, showed me his hand, said what Dylan had been doing all night long, and contacted, and we called the police. He proceeded to scream, threaten to do all kinds of stuff to me, knocked a hole in our wall, and that was the end of that. And unfortunately, we don't get to see the baby, and we don't know if the baby's safe, and it's just, we turned it in to DCS. They've not been able to even find them. They're here, but they flit around so much because neither one of them wants to work. It's a sad situation. So prayers for that baby, that he lives, because it's a nightmare. There's just not a whole lot that we can do. We would have, she uses the baby as leverage, so there's not much that we can do as far as, grandparents don't have rights in Tennessee, and the mother has all the rights, and that's fine when it's working out right, but, and then her parents and her grandparents have witnessed stuff, and we finally just had to call somebody, and they have a case wide open for it, but, we said we know probably at this point there's not a whole lot of evidence other than our hearsay, but at least if something ever does happen, they've got this on file. So that's the story of our adoptions and our foster care stories. Great stuff. It's award-winning, heartwarming, isn't it? Heartwarming. And you know what? This old girl here, I'm over it. I'm sad that things didn't come out. I could have had a bunch of grandkids at this point with the girls and then him, and that would have been amazing. But this old girl's heart is hardened, and I'm over it. It's just their problem, and it's not mine anymore. So I'm living life sparking. All right, guys, I'm at my house. I'm going to drop my stuff off. We'll see if we get anything else before we have to go file our taxes. Yay! Hey guys, so we came home and just called it a day. I took one more run on my way home from after I did taxes, so yeah, we're gonna owe money. It sucks, but anyway, not too bad. And came home and made a fiesta bowl, really good. I put my chicken in the Ninja pressure cooker, and then I make cauliflower rice, and we added some black beans and green peppers and onions and red peppers and spinach and all kinds of good stuff. I already ate mine. My husband's not come home and ate yet. So anyway, we're gonna call it a day and go look at some baby chicks, because my daughter bought some to raise to bring back over here to our farm, which ain't a farm. I'll just say that. we have some chickens. That's it. Because have you seen the price of eggs? So, and our little chickens produce some good eggs. Good tasting eggs. They don't have no crap in them. Just natural chickens laying eggs. Alright guys, so we called it a day and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.